All right, guys, you ready for the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger panel?
Let's do this.
You gotta say it louder, man.
It's fourth of time.
Yeah. So, Allison MacInnis, Pink Ranger, Danny Mitchell, right? And we've got Stephen Skyler, Gold Ranger.
Antonio
Garcia, which is strange because I read that you're not even Latino.
No, I don't even speak a word of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I can say gracias. And Fantastico.
So you can make up Spanish words.
Yeah.
All right,
With an American accent.
I mean, I figured, you guys, if you guys have any questions, definitely, throw your hand up, shout them out. Let's get them in there. I guess I would start by asking, how did you guys get into the universe, the Morphin universe?
I was a model when I was in high school, and my modeling agency, just before I was going to college, said, wait, before you go off into the middle of nowhere of Montana, do you want to audition for Power Rangers? I'm not an actor. It doesn't matter. Let's go. So about 2 months later, because we auditioned a lot, we had to go in 7 or 8 times, we were finally cast.
Were you aware of the Power Rangers before you auditioned?
Yeah, I knew about them.
You never had aspirations to throw on the spandex and flip around?
It never occurred to me that I could. It never occurred to me that I could be, one, an actor, or two, a superhero.
What about you, Stephen?
I grew up performing. My parents used to make me perform at a very young age. My mom was a missionary. My dad worked for the American Embassy, so we moved every 6 months performing at schools and whatnot. I started working in the entertainment industry over in Southeast Asia when I was 15. I was in a boy group and same thing, acting, modeling.
Boy group?
No, boy group.
A boy band.
Boy band.
What? So did you play any instrument? Was it like a Duran Duran boy band, or was it a Backstreet boy band?
Backstreet. But I grew up playing instruments. Before I did that, from 4 till 15. I was
So you were a legitimate musician.
And then moved into the boy kind of pop era, and it just wasn't for me.
What was it called?
I can't tell you.
Ozone.
It was called Ozone, and
Were you all boy bands have different archetypes, right? Were you the bad boy? Were you the squeaky clean?
I was the squeaky clean until I became bad boy, and then I moved into rock music. But I was a good boy. I was just portrayed.
How many hotel buildings did you set on fire?
Oh no, no. And so then I, moved to LA, which I'm from here. So, agent manager, went into audition for Power Rangers. I grew up doing martial arts, so I went there through some kicks and da-da-da. And like Allison said, it was a process going in 7 or 8 times. And then both Power Rangers. I didn't grow up watching Power Rangers because we moved so much, so we didn't have a lot of time to watch TV. So after I booked the job, I went to YouTube and saw hundreds and hundreds of videos, and I was like, wow, there's a huge following behind this. And so I took the job because I wanted to continue to pursue music, and it'll be a great platform for that. So I wrote and produced a full rock album, and then used Power Rangers pretty much to do that, fund it.
Yeah.
And
how did the rock album do?
it's doing good. It's funny because I wrote and produced it, then did a music video, and then from that a production company got birthed. So it's just very interesting. I thought it was going in one direction, and then it just kind of morphed into something else. And now,
his red female ranger is in the music video. If you guys haven't seen it.
it's cool. Kimberly? Yeah. So I put her in the video, and was expecting to kind of go that route, and then I just started getting offers to do other people's albums and videos. So I still play acoustically when I go out, because I wrote everything acoustically, so when I go to conventions, usually I'll bring a guitar.
Have you ever performed in full suit?
I've been asked to. I gotta do it one time, man. I don't know, maybe at Power Morphin. I don't know.
Eventually he will lose a bet. This will happen.
That'd be funny. Get the whole band dressed up in Ranger outfits, yeah.
That'd be cool. An acoustic version of the theme song would be pretty cool.
He performed a song on his show.
Yeah.
What was it?
fun every day.
Did you write it or did you just?
No, I asked to put one of my songs on, and they were like, no.
They wouldn't let me write it.
It's just the machine is too big to try to crack it.
I was gonna ask you guys, like, I mean, not being as aware of the universe that you were stepping into, did you find yourself feeling like you were in a surreal moment once you realized just how big it was?
It didn't hit me until after the show, like after coming out to conventions. Because I didn't even know about the convention circuit at all. They were just like, yeah, you're going to be in the convention circuit. And I was like, I didn't know what that was. So stepping out after filming and coming into like this whole universe and world, it was very surreal for me. It's cool. It's really cool.
Not to date myself, but when my season was on, the internet wasn't really much of a thing.
Not
There
yet.
was no YouTube or Twitter. Social media did not exist. So
Right.
we actually interacted with the fans via mail.
Mail.
Actual mail. We would get fan letters and write them back. Like I still have a box of. We didn't get very much of it because most all of it went to corporate. But I still have what they gave me.
Do you ever get like any angry tweets from somebody you never got back to?
No.
It's like,
No, because they know. People
Okay.
know that the corporate, they had to write corporate office.
okay.
So if any of it got to us, we were thanking them. Thank you for actually
No, I've
giving us
gotten
the
mail before that my agency called me up right away and was like, hey, you got mail. And we respond.
Well, like I said, times have changed a little bit.
What can I ask? Like, are there any letters, fan letters that you guys received that really kind of stood out to you, really touched you, or?
Yeah, a lot of it came from parents, that have special needs children and whatnot, and saying you really helped my kid during this time, during this period of his life, and he really looks up to, and it makes us uphold a high standard because of that. So that's really rewarding for me.
Do you guys find yourself to be really aware of the image that you guys have to portray due to the nature of the show?
Yeah.
We do.
Some people
We do.
don't, but
Sometimes
yeah, they know who.
some of the Rangers get a little bit rowdy at cons, but we don't usually.
Well, I was at Modesto Con, and Hector Jr.
That
and they were flipping over people. I was curious, do we need to set?
I was there.
You were there? Do we need to set any chairs up? You guys flipping over?
No. They're a
They
blast.
wanted people to bring them several chairs, 2, 4, and then they wanted someone to lay on the chairs, and it's like everyone, I'm gonna count to 3, and if you say 3, I'm gonna start running and just flip over, over 4 chairs and one kid's laying on the stairs.
I was looking for a release for someone to sign.
Yeah, I know. I'm always
It was
super nervous
it
when
was
that
successful,
happens.
right?
It was, yeah.
No one got clocked.
No.
That's why he's still flipping over everything everywhere.
I know.
Anywhere.
I hold my breath every time he does that.
It wasn't Najee, was it?
That was Hector.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was Hector.
Najee was the hype man.
No, yeah. Najee's definitely that.
He's the MC.
So you got into Mighty Morphin with Lightspeed, right? And that was back in the early 2000s.
99 2000.
So you had no martial arts background, no acting background. Is there a Mighty Morphin boot camp that they have to put you through?
We spent 2 weeks of intensive hell camp. It was from 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, just punching, kicking, rolling, mostly how to just make it look like we could hold our own and how to fall. We felt a lot, and they needed to make sure that we didn't dislocate something, and we did that.
Oh wow. What was the hardest part about it? Was it the learning to fall, or was it just the exhaustion?
No, the hardest part for me was they kept trying to get me to spar with Sasha, my yellow, and I couldn't hit a girl. They put the stunt guys in front of me, I had no problem, but the minute Sasha moved in, I'm like, no, I don't want to hit Sasha, I don't want to hit the guys again.
Did she have any trouble hitting you?
Well, she was like, come on, Allison, it's fine, just go. I'm not going to throw a punch at you. What if I actually connect? I'm not good at this. Because I hit, that's how the stunt guys actually taught me to make it look. They told me to actually hit them. So when you see my character actually hitting our batlings, they told me it didn't hurt. I was
hit like a girl.
But they told me years later, I'm friends with them on Facebook now, and they said, oh God, yeah. We were always so bruised at the end of those scenes. Really? I mean, I'm so sorry.
Did you learn how to fight? I mean, did you take any street brawling skills off of the set? I can tell by the look you're giving me.
No, the only thing that did was on occasion if I was startled. If somebody actually startled me, like my sister or someone on the street, I would turn around like ready, and I would just drop my arms. I'm so sorry. Wow, that was dorky.
You would see they weren't one of the stunt people, and therefore you couldn't hit them.
It was just like it was so ingrained in me at the end of the year. Like you turn around ready to fight, and I was.
It's funny.
It's lost now. I don't do that.
Do you guys fight at home? I mean, not fight, but like martial arts. Yeah. Do you have kicks, punches that you practice at home?
Not on anyone.
No. Yeah? No? Yeah, you do? Can you show us a move? You have a move you can show us?
You're gonna do that. No volunteers?
No. It's all good.
You don't have to.
You guys have any like favorite like moments from being on the show?
All of them.
Was there like one, like, okay, so not having any acting experience before you did the show, was there a particular moment where you're like, oh, I can act now. I got this.
Anytime the acting coach wasn't on set. We had an acting coach who had a very specific, this is how you act for Power Rangers. And she would make us redo dialogue that she would say, that's too real. You can't do that for kids' show.
Yeah. I heard Allison MacInnis interviewed
We have the same coach. Yeah.
Yeah, the same coach. And he made you guys purposely act cheesy. Because
Super cheesy.
I had no problem doing that because I'm just naturally. Just my character gets super over the top, so they're just like keep that level up. It's like, okay.
Did you guys have any questions for him?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what's your guys' favorite bit of merchandise, or if you have some action figures of your character, do you only merch of your ranger place?
We got seriously shafted for toys and accessories. We got all the stuff that they have now, like the keychains, the tattoos. I would have really liked a doll.
Did they make a doll for us here?
Now with my face on it, only the Red Ranger got that.
I got a big figurine when we all combined. It's like, it's really cool. Somebody gave me one. The Zord, yeah. We all went into the Zord. That was really cool. Yeah.
How much did you sell it for on eBay?
I didn't. Someone gave it to me. Mikey from Ranger Stock. It was like a $50 thing. It was pretty dope. I have a bunch of toys.
Yeah,
But keep it forever is
I
what
keep
he's
it forever.
saying.
I don't sell
back to
toys.
his question though, like, do you guys have any ownership over like your characters or anything like
Well,
that?
the character was created before we came around, so we're just a face for advertising for a product that already exists.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like they created the Gold Ranger around me. I stepped into the Gold Ranger role. Yeah, so it's kind of a flip. You know? Do you know how we did that?
yeah.
So they got a morpher, and then at the back of it they cut like a ring, and then it spun. And so when I grabbed it like this, they shot like from here. There was one of the stunt guys here. They would spin it like this, and then I would just put my hand up and it would go, and they film it, and I just have to get lucky to try to catch it. So we probably did like 50 takes. And then boom, and then like you realize you don't do it, and you do it again. And that's how they did it. So they rigged the whole thing. You know what I'm talking? How they made my morpher spin.
Yeah. So what you're saying is on the 50th phone, you're gonna get it.
Well, no, I did it once, and I did the whole thing, and someone was like, did you do a power thing? I'm like, yes.
That's funny.
Anyone else have any questions?
Stand up.
How do you get
I
to
got a question.
Oh yeah.
Can you all make fast?
Can we buy?
We should make you not be able to move.
I love it.
You, sir, in the blue.
Was it hard to adapt your characters?
I'm sorry. Was it what?
Was it hard to adapt your characters?
To adapt to your characters.
No, actually, for mine anyway, they kept coming to me asking what I like and what I do personally in my free time because they didn't develop Dana. She had no character development. So, like in the Aqua Base when they were decorating the rooms, she had no idea. The set director, she came to me, she said, "What do you like?" Oh, okay, dragons, lizards and stuff. So if the next time you see, like you can see Kelsey's room, her little bunk is covered with mountain climbing gear and stuff, and then you switch to mine, there's dragons. So a picture of my wiener dog. So they basically just kind of shaped Dana a little bit after me.
My character was very over the top. I mean, if you watch the Sentai version, extremely over the top. So they were just like Jim Carrey on steroids sort of thing. And the second season came around and they actually came and told me to tone it down because back in the States, you know, the network started to watch it and they're like, we need people to be able to relate to it. So it was very odd the second season coming around, just trying to tone it down after they were like, pump it up, pump it up. And so then you're like, wait, it kind of, the first couple episodes kind of threw me off. So.
I think Superwoman had a question.
Yeah. Can we do them?
Do we need to just start laying up chairs? What worst?
We can do the moves. I don't know if I want to.
What are some of the moves that you guys are known for?
I think she's asking for a morph.
Oh, you morph? I mean, like, you know, if you want to see us like throw down.
It's like a round. There.
Yeah.
Our morph started out unbelievably more complex than that. When we came to set, we got in line. The stunt guy came over and he says, "Okay, camera's rolling. They're ready for us to go." They're like, "Okay, you're gonna go here and then here and then flip around like this and then go like this and then this." And we just sat there. What? And the director says, "I'm not waiting for that. Just do this part." So that's what our morph ended up being.
When I first came in, they were like, so our morph was like a pull down, right? And then we write our kanji in the air, and then we go, and you snap it around. And it's hard to do that when you're mirroring somebody. Like, I was like, "Can I have a mirror, please, so I can see what I'm doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we can't," because we were on location. So it was just weird. Like, for the first time, like, what am I doing? You know? And the first episode when I land on the beach and I'm like hitting those things, same thing. They're like, "Here's a stick, and then we want you to run and jump and then hit those marks." And I was just like, what? So, I mean, of course, I grew up doing martial arts, so I could at least pretend like, you know what I'm doing. But it was just very interesting going straight from like 0 to 10. You know, just like, here, go. And
what was the shooting schedule like for you guys to be able? I mean, clearly you're not popping lockers, okay? So, right? So, but how long did it take for you guys to get the scenes down, the choreography, and all that stuff?
Ours, I don't know what it was like for shooting in New Zealand, but for ours, we shot 3 episodes at a time over a 2-week period, which is why we always wore the same outfits, if anyone ever really wondered, because we'd be shooting in one day, we might shoot 3 different scenes, or 3 different episodes, different scenes. So we all looked the same. There wasn't time for rehearsal.
Yeah,
We basically went in, we got a couple of takes before the director's like, okay, moving on. So we learned to be very quick as possible, and especially when they come in that morning and say, "We changed all your dialogue for the day." Okay, no problem.
Is that having to be adaptable to all those changes? Is that difficult to get used to, or just nothing?
It was pretty fun. I mean, on our season, we shot on single camera. So when we do a fight scene, it's like, okay, we're going to stand here and I'm going to do a side kick and kick him, and the camera catches it and cut. And then let's go to the next angle. You know what I'm saying? So it was the continuous shots weren't more than like a minute. It's like punch, punch, grab your thing, like with the sword. But you know, when you shoot single camera, you just got to make sure you get the angle, right? So it was, our shooting schedule was, we shot 3 episodes in 9 days.
That's the same schedule.
12 to like 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
And they would usually show you the moves right before you go. Because they knew basically, okay, like I can do a side kick pretty good, I can do a roundhouse kick, I can do this, so they were like, okay, let's do this. You know, the use of the sword was the most complicated for me because I had the sword from behind. So then learning how to like kind of dance and slash, because they didn't allow stabbing. So there's like no punching to the face, only to the body, and only slashing.
And never against another human, right?
No, we did. We couldn't hit. Or yeah, we couldn't hit their face or a kick. Or everything was to the body. Just they had problems with kids getting into fights and whatnot. So they were like, at least on our season at Nickelodeon.
Our season was kind of big because we had a gun in one episode, and that hadn't happened. And maybe the first season, the very first season, I think there was a gun.
No, I don't think there was.
Okay, then that's what they were talking about. Like it was the first time a bad guy was a human
Yeah.
and had a gun. So all the stuff guys were like, huh, all right, this is you, go.
Any more questions?
Allison, for Super Mega Force, was it like getting back into the suit?
Oh, it was so fun, but the suit, they made it right before we came over. Like, we were notified in March, like, do you think you want to come back for this? Oh, heck yeah. And would you be okay going to New Zealand? Yeah. I'm okay with that.
What they're talking about is they did a reunion season 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
and Allison was a part of that.
Yeah, but they made the suits, like, weeks before. And we basically arrived on set, they put us in these, and apparently I suck at giving measurements because it did not fit. It looked like I had lost all my muscles because it was just like hanging.
And they put a blonde wig on her.
It was such a cool wig.
Do we have another question over here?
Yeah, I just walked in and I missed it if you answered it. Before casting, are you required to know any martial arts, or did they teach you after the casting?
After. Although I almost did not get cast because Koichi, the head stunt coordinator for all these early Saban seasons, he told the casting director and the producers that I was a total cream puff and he didn't want to work with me. But after the first couple of weeks of the training, he came up and apologized to me and said, yeah, you've absolutely earned your place here. I'm sorry I called you a cream puff. And he walked away and was like, you did what?
It definitely helps, but if you can kick and throw a punch and make it look good, you pretty much are in, As long as you can learn something pretty quick,
I mean, the Dino Charge cast was different. They were different. They're one of the first casts in a long time where all of them, I think, are gymnasts and fighters.
Yeah, Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi's pretty good.
And so is Brennan. He's like a circus performer. The stuff that he does, it just, what?
Yeah, Brennan. He did like the stunts in his suit. I think he got his own suit recently, and he's like doing all this stuff like splits,
Yeah.
handstands in the suit.
So it's helpful. You will get more shots
Yeah.
doing cool things if you can. But the stunt guys are so talented. We loved when they came in.
I didn't. I always had fun doing my own stuff. I love this, these plastic monsters coming at you and you're just like side kicking. It's so much fun.
That part was fun. But
It's so much fun.
Then the little stunt guys would come in and do like 5 flips and kick them in the face. And like, that you just made me look so good.
How much of the fighting stuff was you, and how much of it was stunt folks?
Anytime there's a suit, it's not us.
There's a percentage, in our season, because on our season they use a lot of stock footage from the Japanese version, because the Japanese shoot it first, right?
Yeah.
So they'll use some of the footage already, and then they'll match it, and then sometimes the suit we take it off from there. So it's about like a 30%, sometimes like 60-40. And we shot in New Zealand, so they match the terrain and whatnot. But we did a lot of fighting without our suits as well. But the majority of time, because of time, we'll have a second unit. So like when we morph, so we boom, we'll morph, and then they'll like freeze, and we all freeze, and then we'll have people like put their hands on our bodies, and then we'll move, and then the guy that's already in the suit will come in, the exact thing, and then they go and unfreeze him. So that way there's not the time of having to get all suited up, and all, it's just like shoot. We have 2 units shooting constantly. at the same time. So like fighting sequence over here, and then this is going here, and we'll switch back and forth.
I mean, the 3 episodes in 9 days, so that's an episode every 3 days. Are you guys filming like one episode now, one episode, or are you filming episodes on top of each other?
It's
Bits and pieces.
It's bits and pieces. So like we'll get for the they call them blocks. We'll get a stack of scripts, and so one day we'll shoot like maybe 2 episodes, different scenes. So you got to look and do a reference. Okay, I'm saying this. Why am I saying this again? Okay, because here, da 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 da. So it's like all over the place. It was really complicated trying to find out. Okay, what am I supposed to be doing here? You know, and then the next 2 hours later, you're on a different episode, but you're shooting like one scene from it. Yeah, it's very very strange.
You guys were talking about how you kind of got hosed when it came to the like all the licensing and all that kind of stuff. The helmets. Did you steal these from the set?
This is a reproduction made by fans.
Okay.
So we have stunt helmets, like, you know, for week performances. Our cast went out and did like a little show afterwards and whatnot. So we have stunt stuff. But the original, we have one like hero helmet for close-ups. Yeah, that's like, you can't get a hold of that.
Mine's still in the Disney vault, as far as I know.
Do you guys?
Disney didn't release everything back to Samoa.
Yeah, there's a New Zealand big warehouse. There's definitely some things that went missing, but some of the producers knew.
I mean, did you guys ever like get anything from the set?
Yeah, they gave us a box at the end of stuff.
Oh, you didn't just take something though that you?
No, I couldn't do that, man. I want to sleep at night.
For our season, they gave us our jackets and a few sets of the outfits.
Yeah.
So for Power Morphicon, at least, I'll wear that there.
Awesome. Any other questions? Let's go up here in the front.
How did you manage to make the suit and helmet?
How do we make the suit and helmet? Like, do you want the real version or do you want the TV version? The real version?
Very talented wardrobe ladies.
Wardrobe. And they piece together, there are people, they sit and they sew it together and they take your measurements and they make sure it fits exactly. Yeah.
How many layers do you guys gotta wear underneath?
Yeah.
It's straight, you don't even want to know. This is a true story. They wore, because it's so tight, you don't want to see like brief lines.
Yeah.
So actually all the guys wear like thongs. Yeah. I have a video, I had it laid out and I was like, oh my gosh, really, this is that first time. I feel so unmanly right now. I'm about to put this suit on and I have to wear this underneath. I've had video of it, like when we're in our trailer.
Now you know when you see the male rangers on TV, they're all wearing thongs.
And if you watch the Japanese version, you can see their backsides are a little more flat, the stock footage, and then in the same scene, like, it's just different, you know?
So if you want to get your cosplay right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't tell the Under Armour anymore.
We had another question.
Aside from your guys' own seasons, what were your favorite seasons in Power Rangers?
I didn't watch Power Rangers growing up, so I would have to say our season was the first one was off air, right, before Samurai for a while. So I didn't really watch anything else, to be super honest.
It didn't go off the air. People just don't really pay attention to the Disney
It kind of
seasons.
just
Yeah, RPM was on its way out, and they was like, yeah, we're done. And then they're like, nope, Samurai.
I liked Mystic Force because they had capes and magic. Time Force was cool because the chick was in charge.
Oh, yeah.
And Mega Force I thought was fun because pirates.
Yeah. Any other questions? I got a question. So, what is the I mean, going in, realizing just how big the Morphin universe is, and just how big the following is. You got your own con now that's going on. Is there only one, or is there multiple cons?
There's multiple. The Ranger stop in Florida happens once a year too, and there's a new one that's going to happen in Maine.
We're not sure about that one.
It's still on the docket right now, but it's called Your Mini Con.
Something's all Power Ranger related. So there's Power Morphicon, which happens every 2 years, and then Ranger Stop in Florida.
Well, Lexington, it has a lot of Rangers too, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Lexington has a thing.
I mean, it's for it to now. It's close to 25 years with regard to being here in the States, and it seems to only keep growing and getting bigger.
And the movie's coming out. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Did you hear about the movie? There's a movie coming out, Rangers and Power Rangers.
Like a real movie, not just a double DVD collection.
Yeah.
Have you liking the dinosaur?
The Dino Charge? Yeah. Do you like it? I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good.
I've seen it before. It's pretty good.
You see it as your dad?
He watches that.
He doesn't want to admit it, but he watches it. Come on now.
Let me ask you this.
We've been watching
Through the years, you guys feel like a little bit of pressure to replace the ones before you?
There's
or try to live up to them?
No.
There's.
No, we know them so well. We've hung out with them so much. They're our friends, so it's not.
But they don't become your friends until afterwards.
When I first met them, when I went to New Zealand and I met JDF for the first time, I will admit there was a little bit like, wow, he's the first. Okay, this is cool. But by the end of the trip, it was like, yeah, he's one of the guys.
I never really felt that. Just kind of, it's like when you get into an acting gig, you're just so focused on what you got to do and give your best performance. And I feel like if you come into it with that expectation, you just put too much pressure on yourself, and then you get in your head, you know, and then you start the comparing and the jealousy and just whatever, all that stuff that comes with it. So for me, it's just like, boom, straight focus. This is my job, my role, and everybody, it's a family, you know, it's everybody, we go out to dinners all the time and hit the town as a big group of Power Rangers. That's fun. A lot of trouble.
You know, with as family friendly as it is, you know, I think it was last year, director Joseph Kahn came out with a more adult version of Power
You see
Rangers.
it?
I was wondering what your
Don't know
reaction
it.
to something like that would be.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And I had a friend, the guy who plays the villain, William Lee. I had no idea he was in it. He kept it under wraps so well, never let it out.
They did
It was really cool to see him in that.
They did like a PG version of how it would.
That was not PG.
Was it?
No.
No.
R.
R, rated R, like, it was a fan-made film, done really well. Kind of like a RoboCop sort of
Yes.
feel, where they're like going at it.
It
And,
was in part not well received
By
by
the-
parents because it was like people did not expect the content.
It wasn't about the parents, it was about the brand. Saban was like, hey, this is a kid's brand, and now you're putting this stuff out that kids are now going to see, which we don't approve of. And so they tried to take it down, and there was like lawyers back and forth between them. But he wasn't making a profit off it, it was a fan film. So he just had to put some disclaimers on it, and he put it back
There
up.
should have been a warning. There should have been a big old warning. Look, do not let your kids watch this until you've seen it. Because I was kind of shocked. It was great though. I loved it.
Yeah, as well.
Did you like it though?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, it's geared toward like an adult audience.
Do you think that the universe is big enough to accommodate if, let's say, down the line it could go in that direction for, like, the fans that start off as kids now are adults and look for something a bit more hardcore?
It's going to depend on Saban. I think they've got a real good machine going, and as long as it's still lucrative, they're not going to change it up too much.
This is, I feel like Rangers, there's a lot, like it's geared toward the younger generation to teach them about teamwork and about building self-confidence and good morals behind it. So now when it turns into this other thing, there's revenge and, it's just totally opposite, side of
Death.
the coin.
That was death.
So,
Would you guys be involved in something like that though? Get that?
Yeah. Any of the Rangers, if they had been approached by Khan to be in that film, they all would have said
It's funny because, again, we're contracted for like 2 seasons. It's ours 2 seasons. So during those 2 seasons, no, we're all about building, and we still are. But as your job as an actor is, again, to portray what the writer is trying to put out. It would be silly for Saban to do that because, again, their market is working and it always will work. But I guess for the older generation, I think it would be a totally different market and a successful market.
It seems like you have a question?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to ask, what would be like for a future role, what would be a dream role, like for like a superhero movie or any type of role you guys like to play in the future? Like whether it's Marvel, DC, or anything, Star Wars, or any other franchise.
Dream role in a big superhero movie.
Well, we've already made Lord of the Rings.
I want to be in Game of Thrones.
Oh.
There you go.
Game of Thrones would be amazing, but really, I really want to be in the next World of Warcraft movie.
Oh. Yes.
I want to be a blood elf.
I know. Elsa, that's.
Yeah. I'm kind of leaning toward the indie side of film right now. Allison's been writing a couple scripts and we plan to shoot them sometime this year, at least one of them. But I like to explore other sides,
You guys are going to involve more actors or actors.
We have been, like I just directed a music video, Jason Font was in it, so we try to, our friends and, easy to work
We bring
with.
them in. We bring them in as much as possible.
It's fun.
With the, I was going to ask, with the, just the growing community and universe and all that stuff, what are some of the most memorable con experiences you guys have had meeting fans over the years?
I think PMC was the most memorable because it was all Power Rangers fans.
Yeah.
So we got to meet them from all over the world.
I think from all the world, yeah. I brought my band out and performed that time, so that was fun.
And do you see, is there any carryover from the Morphin fans to now, enjoying your band and creating music?
Yeah, absolutely. It was cool. We had some of the people who knew the songs and kind of put it out before. And in Samurai, I actually had a musical episode. So that was rewarding as well. So kind of teased them a little bit.
Has there only been the one Power Morphin con so far?
No, this will be the fifth.
I've only been to one.
This will be the fifth, yeah.
So this will be your second one going
The
to?
second one, yeah.
Is there any moment that kind of stands out, the singular moment meeting a fan?
Again, a lot of kids that come up to you and they're like, you really helped me during, my childhood, or the parents. There's so many. There wasn't one particular instance where it's like a continuous stream of people saying the same thing, which is rewarding.
We had one in our Lightspeed panel. A young lady named Amanda came up and told us that she was going to commit suicide in her high school year. And then she started watching our season, and it saved her life. And we were just, are you sure it was nuts? It was kind of, yeah.
That's amazing. Do you realize at the time that you're touching people in that way when you're doing that?
No, we had no idea. We were having fun. We were fighting plastic monsters and playing make-believe with our friends. We had no idea it would be so impactful. It's amazing.
You can kind of see it in the script, though, sometimes, the way they word things in the dialogue. And you're like, okay, we're obviously putting out a good message, teaching kids how to, handle situations and whatnot. So it's very geared toward that. So reading it, you're like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. But again, the extent of them actually being impacted, you never know until you meet them.
Every few years, there's a new generation of Rangers that come in. Do you guys sit back and kind of how soon before you guys are meeting one another and getting to know each other and welcoming them to the family?
Convention circuits, usually.
I've only been in the convention circuit for the past year and a half. So Morphicon, this last one, was when I met the Dino Charge guys, and I remember I came out of the green room and I had my phone. I kind of looked down the hall, and they were just about to be announced. I was like, oh, it's the Big Rangers. I want to go meet them. I was walking down the hall, and Yoshi looks down and goes, oh my God. And he grabs a pen and goes, oh my God, it's Lightspeed Pink. Oh my God. What? Are you kidding me? He goes, I grew up watching you. Oh my God, can I have a hug? Oh, this is precious. Oh my goodness.
Every 2 years, they have a convention geared toward Power Rangers, Power Morphicon, and that's where we meet everybody. And then they introduce the new cast, usually there, and yeah.
That's why this year's going to be so exciting, because
hopefully they'll introduce the
Introduce the new cast.
Yes.
Movie
For the
cast.
movie cast.
Hopefully they'll do the new cast. I think it just really depends which way, because now Lionsgate obviously has a say in it and what's going on, so Saban still doesn't sure, but it's just, we don't know.
We've got enough time for one or two more questions.
Like, I'm not up to date on Power Rangers. Like, how many years did you on?
2010 to like 13.
So,
Yeah.
you had 2 or 3 seasons?
Or 2 seasons.
Okay. Okay, I mean, okay, you had 2 seasons. How come you didn't go on to the next season? Or was it just they want to change?
2 things. Like on a business standpoint, it's about selling the toys.
Okay.
So they need a new face for new merchandise.
Alright.
That's number one. It's kind of difficult because a lot of times the kids don't understand it. A new season comes on and they get kind of confused, which I think is a mistake. But from their standpoint, it's about, they make their money from selling toys. And so I think they shuffle through them. And if you get too locked in, then you become too much a part of the machine. So they, two seasons in and out.
So everyone pretty much is 2 seasons?
Except for at the beginning. Right?
No. Here's the thing. We shot the same amount of episodes.
No, I'm talking about in the beginning.
In the beginning of everybody.
The couple of the Rangers.
Because I remember when the very first Power Rangers came out, I watched it because I thought it was pretty cool at the time when I was still in high school. And I remember, okay, they replaced 2 of them at one time, and they kept on going and replaced another one and
In the same season?
Yeah.
There was internal problems.
Okay.
Yeah, there were problems with, I believe this is what I've heard through the grapevine, there were problems with the actual actors, so they're just like boom.
Then as later on, I seen, my son says, oh, there's Dynamon, Super Samurai.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you guys just stay on? Unless you guys want to move on to something else, that's great. But I was just curious.
No,
It's the machine.
Okay.
It keeps things fresh, keeps things new, and I just feel like the more that you do it and you step into it, the more say you have, and they don't want to break the machine, so it's like, boom.
Well, our season shot the same number of episodes that their season
We just
shot,
split it.
but we were shown all in 1 year instead of making the fans wait 2 years. They just spread it out now and give this super long hiatus, which drives everybody crazy.
Yeah, we go back.
But you also do want to progress in your job as an actor and explore. Again, you're shooting, like our season was single camera, same character, same sort of line, same sort of dialogue. You don't have much room to play because it's so like locked in by a huge corporate umbrella, so you can't explore or like, hey, it's kind of, yeah.
Another question in front?
The goal, you remember Jaden? Yeah, so we were childhood friends. Actually, I'm a self-proclaimed ranger. We were friends and he gave me his Zord, and then I found the morph on the beach, and then I came in and saved the day. Well, they were in trouble. So, remember? Yeah, and then I had to come in and save them, and I think they realized my value, and they accepted me as part of the team. Eventually. It was hard, but in a bit.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the first question is either one of you coming meeting?
No.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
No TV, no nothing, new everything.
The second question is,
Say what?
can I put on your helmet?
I don't think it would fit.
Too big.
You have to be ready for like spandex to be flying everywhere. Are you ready for that? I don't think it would fit. I have a hard time in putting on. My head's gotten kind of big.
But I wanted to ask one last question of you, Allison. I read in your IMDb credits that you appeared in a movie with Paris Hilton. What was that like? You guys listen?
Is this still being filmed? I did not have a great experience with her because she showed up, just to start off, she showed up 5 hours late to set because she was partying in Vegas. And then once she got to set, all she did was complain about how she had to come to set hungover. She should have been allowed to stay in Vegas another day. And then when we did get to set, my lines with her, she asked me whose shirt I'm wearing. And I told her, whose shirt does it belong to? And I said, it's Dolce & Gabbana's, with an apostrophe S. That's how it's written. It's perfect. It's right. It's showing possession. She says, you're saying it wrong.
Oh.
What do you mean? It's not Dolce and Gabbana, it's Gabbana. Okay, well, I know it's Dolce and Gabbana. I know this is when we're not filming. I know that's the store. You're saying. She walks off, goes and talks to the director, who then pulls me aside and they say, we're really sorry to do this, but can you just say it how she wants it?
Oh, Lord.
No, we know. We know it's wrong. But just say it.
Did you feel like your punching reflexes starting to kick in at that point?
Well, one of the directors on there was Strath Hamilton, and he worked on me or he worked on Power Rangers, so he was kind of like Allison. Like, I know, this is really angsty right now. Just say it how she wants it, so we can all get out of here. Wow. So every time I watch that scene, I just.
I've met her and worked with her before, and she's a lovely person.
Say that.
She is. She's
Not
lovely.
say that.
Do you guys have anything else as we wrap up? Anything else that you guys want them to know that you got coming up? They can check out.
Just want to thank you for all, supporting and coming out to these things. We love coming out and meeting you, getting away from other work, LA, and coming out. You make it so enjoyable for us. We actually do production stuff together. We're a production company. We do a lot of pageant photography, music videos. You can check out the company. It's called Secret Sky Productions. We have a lot of crazy stuff coming out, really beautiful, elegant stuff as well. Yeah, we work together like 24/7, believe it or not. We do,
Yeah, he's okay.
Well, guys, give it up. If you haven't yet, go check them out. Their tables.
Yeah.
And at 2 o'clock, we got a Walking Dead panel.
So Walking Dead.